Father Nigel. And I'll start off how I normally start by touch wood. We don't seem to have many hens attack. This year we've had one. We seem to always have one. But that again, they're animals at the end of the day. We can't physically control everything we do. They're not machines. You can't put 10 pairs down and every pair breeds you 10 chicks and right, I've finished, I can pack up. No, you're going to get some problems, and anyone that says they don't, they're lying. Anyone that says, oh, every single pair is fertile and they're the only pairs are paired up, well, have you not swapped that hen? Have you not swapped that? Oh, no, everything. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Budgies are characters, and by us selective breeding, trying to breed that show bird, realistically, we are doing everything wrong against nature again. We're not letting that cockbird pick that hen. We're saying that cockbird goes to that hen because of colour, quality, relations, whatever the reasons may be. We are doing things wrong in a lot of aspects. Whereas if you see a pair paired up in the flight, as long as they don't really conflict each other with either being brother and sister, father and daughter, or completely the wrong two colours, have a go, because you're halfway there. By cage breeding, we are giving the scenarios like a hotel room. You are sending a young man and a young woman into a hotel room, and they're either going to love each other or they're going to hate each other. And a lot of the time it's as simple as that. So by selective breeding, you've got to expect some bad results. Like us, again, we're having a fantastic season. I think we've run over 100 babies with this year's ring on. We've got 80, 90 with last year's rings on from when I first paired up. So for easy figures, call it 200 chicks since we paired up. It's not doing a miss, but again, we've got a lot of pairs, so I would expect a lot of chicks. But we have problems. If you've got 10 cages and you have one pair go dead in shell, we've probably had 5. If you've had a hen not feed her chicks, we've probably had 5. We will see everything to an extent because of how many cages we've got. And all these, even people have got more cages than me, 100, 150 cages. Well, they will see things even more as an extent. So it's not all roses, it's not all amazing by having more cages, more birds. You've got to break your season down and evaluate it and be realistic at the end of the day. I would love it. I envy a lot of the people that have got small studs, because you are restricted to those 10 cages, those 12 cages, those 20 cages. Well, I'm a kid in a sweet shop. It's my passion, it's my obsession. Before I paired up, I was dreaming about my pairs. I was having sleepless nights, one, because I've got a 6-month-old child, but 2, when he's waking me up, I'm thinking about budgies again. And you can't sleep, you're getting obsessed with, right, I've got to pair this up, I'm going to pair that up. Well, will that be fit in time for... And it doesn't stop. And I think that's what makes me the person that I am within the hobby. And I wouldn't have it any other way, in all honesty, but it is very frustrating, because then after these sleepless nights and you've been dreaming about budgies, that pair didn't work. And you've set your heart on that pair to breed me some greylings, or I've not had many off him last year, so you think, right, now this is his year to shine, and it messes up again. Or things don't always run as smoothly as they are. So if you have some bad times, talk to somebody, have a chat about it. Lots of people have issues, lots of people have problems. We weirdly got quite a bit of dead in shell around Christmas time, the couple of weeks leading up to Christmas, and the weather up our way changed quite drastically. And I think even though we are putting lights on, we're putting 2 oil-filled radiators on, we're tricking them into thinking it's a spring or it's a summer season so they'll breed, they still know what's going on outside. At the end of the day, if your lights are on full and they look out the window and it's pitch black, I think it plays mind games on them personally, and it's tricking them into a false sense. Well, should I be asleep? Should I be up and awake? What's going on? And over Christmas, like to do with the wind and all that, we've got lots of vents in our shed and fans, but we shut the place up a lot for the winter time. And me and my dad agree and disagree on this subject. I personally would still have the door open. I would let the trickle vent still be open, because unless you are getting the beast from the east, or whatever that thing was called, something's battering your shed with wind, you're not really going to see a massive difference or a problem. So I think the natural elements even will still have an effect on your bird room, no matter how good you blind it, no matter what lighting you've got heating. The seasons still come into play, unfortunately. So I think that is a big thing as well. So if you have had dead in shell, if you have had some issues, don't get too upset about it. It does happen. That leads me on to something else, like with the show side of it. I was speaking to the guys earlier about people have good show seasons and bad show seasons. Some people are jealous of other people that they're winning this, or I've never beat them, or, well, you take your birds to a competition, you win or you lose. It's as simple as that. You take the wins when you get them, you take your losses when you get them. And if you fully don't agree, if a tiny bird has beat your super bird, then go and ask the judge, see why it didn't win. But a lot of the times you have got to take it on the chin that you have been beaten or you have won, because that is that decision by that judge or those judges. In all honesty, I'm very, very honest about my birds. I criticise them and rip them to pieces all the time. Well, last year we had a fantastic show season, CC's galore, 2 best in shows out of 4 shows. We won the little shows that we went to within our club as well, and so it's fantastic. But the bird that won the 2 best in shows at the open shows for me, I never took him to the club show. People are saying, oh, get him to the club show. It's not going to win. I looked at the grey class at Doncaster, there was 13. 11 of them would have beat him. Why would I take my bird out of a breeding cage to embarrass myself just because it's won 2 best in shows? Just because it's won something does not mean it will do it again. It does not mean it will win at the club show. I'm honest, you know, and I think, well, I won those 2 shows because the bird sat still, it's immaculate feather-wise, it's as clean as a whistle, it is a good bird. There was better birds on both days, but they weren't fit, they weren't doing what my bird was doing. So I'll take the win, I'll say thank you very much, I'll have my picture saying I've won, great, but it probably will never do it again. And that's what we all put ourselves forward for. You know, you are entering your birds into a competition. If you really don't agree with it, speak to the judge, speak to the people, see you know what's going on. I've had a few, when I was a trainee judge, I had a few juniors come up to me. They knew I was a junior. Said, Sam, we want to ask your opinion. Why has that bird beat that? By explaining it and taking the time to them, they have understood. But those juniors initially were very upset that their bird came 3rd in the class. Well, sometimes unless you're not there watching the judging going on, or hearing the judge speak to his stewards and his chief steward about, well, this bird's messing about, or that one's actually not got a tail, and you don't know why you've won or lost sometimes. So again, I know you guys run a very successful club and a very successful open show. I always encourage people to go to the shows and be involved. Even if you only take a couple of birds, or if your birds aren't fit, get there, see it, you know, be involved. As an example, I bred for a recessive part, a phenomenal one a few years ago, and it had won 2 CCs. I'd only shown it twice during the year. It won 2 CCs and 2 best intermediate any ages. And I beat, at that time, 2 top guys that weren't happy that I beat them with a recessive pride. Well, everyone was bullying me up. You've got to take it to the club show, you've got to get it to the club show, it's got to win at Doncaster, the CC, and should do well in the intermediates for you. I got it to the club show. Club show is obviously a weekend event. Friday night, sits there, fantastic. But you don't want to get your hopes up, so okay, whatever. Saturday morning, it gets judged. It's up and down, up and down, up, never perched. The guy could see it was a good bird. It came 2nd in the CC. And in the write-up of they put normally the top 3 birds, why it was this, why won that, and what they like about it. Well, they said that if it was to sit still, it would have won. So one, I got it in writing, and I visually saw it. So how can I be upset that my bird didn't win, you know? And I think that's what we've got to take on the chin again sometimes, that you're not going to win every show. A lot of people expect that, right, I won best intermediate last week, I'm going to win it again. But what if there is a better bird there? What if your bird's not fit that week? You know, there's people that like this grey cock of ours that's won 2 best in shows. I took him to Trent Valley, thinking and hoping that, you know, you have a chance. But at our show, we get a lot of the Stoke-on-Trent breeders, the Huxley and Marchant people, and Huxley and Marchant themselves, and they kick all of our backsides all the time. And I thought, no, I'm going to have a go. I don't think it'll win, but I'm going to have a go. Well, there was a class of 11 or 12 greys, I think it was, in the champions, and it came 2nd. Well, I'm never normally happy about seconds because I'm a very competitive person, but the bird that beat it was a phenomenal grey cock of Alan Marchant's, and that bird went on to win best in show. So my double best in show bird, oh no, it came 2nd. Well, I'm happy with that, and I'll accept that. And to me, that's another part of the hobby that if you want to show your birds and be involved, you've got to take these things. It's never straightforward. Budgies are never easy. Never how you expect them to be. But if you can learn to live with these things, and you can enjoy the hobby hopefully as much as possible, because I believe that for saying they're pretty little birds at the end of the day, it is a fantastic hobby that we can all enjoy and can all get some rewards from. You know, that I used to be into sports, but clearly I'm not now. But when I was, you know, I was very competitive with that as well. But I kept losing the will to, you know, you think, like when we had the bicycle shop, I'd cycle miles and miles, and it's great for the mental health, you know, clearing your head and getting out there, good for the fitness. But what was I really achieving? I'm getting lost for 2 hours on a bicycle, you know, I'm thinking, well, what am I doing? So whereas the budgies, you can put a pair together and you hope that they breed, and when they do, those chicks are responsible to you. You have made that pair and you have decided what bred those chicks. Good or bad, you have to take responsibility that you have created them birds one way or another. And even if they are bad, you should be proud of it, because you've fed them, you've got them, and they're yours. You know, in worst case scenario, you can sell them, like I say, to someone else and buy yourself a new bird with the money that you make, or buy some seed. And that again is a big part of it to me. Seeing the time, I don't know if you want to have a break or if anyone's got any questions. Or
what's in your shop food, sir?
So we've
is that a long answer?
It's not too long. We for many years used to use commercial egg foods, and I sell a lot of them. Because some people literally buy commercial egg food and serve it as it is. We used to use a brand called Sluice, and the Sluice was nice and chunky, it fluffed up nicely when you moistened it, but it was quite top end at the expensive price. It was one of the dear ones. I think it was Graham I was telling earlier that my mum and dad used to have chickens, and the whole purpose of the chicken was to lay eggs. And those eggs we used to boil them, peel them, grate them. Then we got lazy and, well, the shell's not going to do them any harm, so we just grated the whole thing. And then for laziness, because of boiling the eggs and waiting, and just scrambled them. And scrambled egg became the core part in a way. But like I say, it must be, I lose track of time, it must be 6, 7, 8 years maybe, definitely since we've been in the new bird room, that we have stuck to the same thing. The thing that I've introduced over the last, I think it's the last 3.5 years, is the white packet here called Odyssey. Odyssey and the Pure Gold, the little bottle next to it, is 2 products that I've had professionally done. They are produced by a professional manufacturer in a professional factory. They are best before dated, and there's a lot of products that are on the market that don't. And they are produced for the right reasons. And I've got a long list of people, not just budgie people, that are doing well with both of them. And the idea with the Odyssey one was to create something that is cost effective. It's £9.95 for the pouch, 500 gram, and it's probably as big as my thumb. A little scoop inside. You use one of them to 125 grams worth of soft food. We're using a kilogram a day, so we're quite a few scoops. But that is a product that, it was the Finch and Canary guys at the shows that were saying we need this, we need that. We're using 30 of it, we're using, you know, all these different. We want something that's a bit more easier. It will help. When you look into a lot of things, I can't remember who I was speaking to earlier, but budgies with protein and with a lot of greenery, as we give them, if they're eating too much, it just comes straight out the other end. So you've got to try and lock that protein in, lock that goodness in. It's like us, I'm a meat eater, out and out meat eater. If I had to become a vegetarian, one, I'd go very, very thin, which might be a good thing, but I'd be on the little all the time. And it's the same with the birds. You give them a lot of greenery at some point, you will notice a difference the other end. So Odyssey's been a more recent thing that we've done, and because of how I've had it done and I had it tested and went through the proper routes, there's a lot of hurdles to jump through when you have these products done. But the core of it is the dry mixer that I do. Like I said, we used to use commercial egg food, and I was getting breeders come to me at the sales going, I want egg food without egg in it. Can you do that without egg in it? Well, it's not egg food then if it hasn't got some sort of egg flavour or egg biscuit in it. So I spoke to some of my suppliers again, and we've concocted this dry mix. It's like a cooked cereal basically. There's a bit of seaweed, a bit of herbs in there, and what it does is, again, it fluffs up nicely. If you were to serve it dry, it'd be no good. It's too hard. It's been, you know, cooked. But when it's been softened and moist and wet, it's fantastic. So that's the base. we put all my different vegetables in, because if you've got the time for fresh, I'm not just here to promote this, if you've got the time for fresh, use fresh. But with these, you can keep it in a tub and you take out what you want when you want. It's fantastic stuff. And it gives you so much choice. You haven't got to top and tail a carrot all the time. You haven't got to get some broccoli out. You haven't got to get this out. The dried vegetables will save you one hell of a lot of time. And they've all got different, vegetables in. We use a few of the non-natural things. So we put probiotic in every day. And the Aviform one, in my opinion, from the research and different things I've done, with it being a probiotic and prebiotic, it is the best one on the market, especially value for money wise. There's lots of other probiotics on the market, but some don't do what they say, and some are very, very expensive. We put calcium in. We were using the Calcivet liquid, and then the lady from the bird care company came and stood with me at a show, and promoted her products obviously on my trade stand, and she luckily gave my dad a bit of a roasting, because she asked him what we put in the soft food and so on, and how you do this, how you do that. Well, we use calcium and it goes in the water. And I can't remember the figures on there, but I think he triple dosed it every time he was doing it. And luckily, because my dad doesn't listen to anyone, especially not me, I just stood back and let the woman give him a roasting, and she said, "You are doing more harm than you are good." So I would suggest you change in, and what about your soft food? You haven't said about, so you explained about, well, why don't you use the calcium powder? So then you just chuck it in your soft food. If you are slightly over a bit, it's not going to do too much harm, but the liquid, it will double and triple dose things, obviously clearly no good. Again, any of these products have been designed and tested and had research done on them. Do not double, triple, quadruple doses like budgie people seem to do. A budgie bloke was giving a talk about 30 minutes. The spoon is tiny, so he just got a tablespoon. I don't understand it, but anyway. So we use the calcium powder to try and increase the calcium levels, and touch wood, we don't have problems with eggs. So I put it down to that, and we've used it from day one. But like I say, it used to be liquid, now it's the powder version. So I would hope it's that. Maybe if we took it off for a season, but I don't want to take it off because it works. We put Thrive on in there, we put parsley, because again I use the dry parsley because I sell it, it's always easy accessible. But parsley itself is a natural antitoxidant, so that is a key ingredient. We use mint. Mint's good again for respiratory reasons, and also it's a natural product. The two different herb mixes that I use, one of them is more designed for keeping the bird fit and active and helping it fly, keeping it mobile, active, and the other one's to help try and calm them down. Or for laziness, instead of my dad doing 2 lots of soft food and one for the breeding birds and one for the birds with resting or the babies, just chucked them both in. And luckily it seems to work. They eat a lot, like I say. And so the core is dry mix with vegetables, which are then soaked. And then we put in non-natural things, because unfortunately some of these things you cannot get by doing anything else. You've got to add the non-natural things. So it's quite simple in a way, but there's lots of scoops of different veg and different things that get chucked in. And it's not a lie, people that come are amazed. We use little terracotta dishes. They're level if they've just got eggs or chicks are just not attached, but they're piled if they've got loads of chicks. Wolf sit down, it's gone. We don't get any wastage, which for me, with me providing it, is fantastic that I'm not throwing my money away or wasting something on a bird. But it took us a long time to get to that, don't get me wrong, we've been doing it 23 years now. For lots of years we used to use EMP, which I find a bit too powdery, and a few different things. Well, trial and error again. And it must be at least, I'm sure, 6 or 7 years we've all fit out. So I'm personally very, very pleased.
Comfort break now. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Sam.
All right.
If you